Hello, welcome to UPSC Vid IAS learning platform, and this is me Devapriya. And in this video, we will discuss the advent of Europeans. And I'm just trying to give you an overview regarding the foreign powers in India, starting from Portuguese, who came to India in the year 1498, and after that the British came in the year 1600. Later Dutch East India Company, they came here and established their settlements in the year 1602. Then Danish, they came in the year 1616, and French East India Company, who were the last European powers to reach India and establish their settlement in the year 1664. So you might be familiar, or you might be knowing that the Portuguese came to India by discovering a new sea route through Cape of Good Hope, and then to through Indian Ocean to the Calicut or Kapad in Calicut in Malabar coast. Okay, so they came here by discovering a new sea route. So these Europeans or these Portuguese, they were not the first to trade with the India or the Southeast Asia. Okay, so there existed many or several sea routes or several trade routes even before Vasco da Gama discovering this new sea route. So now let us have a look at the trade route that existed between Europe and Asia. As you can see from the map given here, let us now try to find out the trade routes that existed before. Okay, so one was through this Persian Gulf. You can see here, this is the Persian Gulf, and through this Persian Gulf, they started trading, and through Iraq, and then later to the Mediterranean Sea, and then to Genoa and Venice, and thus reaching the European region. One another route that existed was through the Red Sea, and then again through Egypt, and then to the Mediterranean Sea, and thus reaching Genoa and Venice. Okay, this was one another route, and then one another route that existed was through the Central Asia. Okay, so Arabs were having the monopoly or having established their monopoly of trade in the Asian part of this sea route. So Arabs had the monopoly over this region. Then Italians had their Italy is here. So Italians had the monopoly over the Mediterranean Sea region. Okay, so in 1453, as you can see, this is the Constantinople. So in 1453, the Turkish rule or the Ottoman Turks, they conquered this Constantinople and this Asia Minor. So this allowed the Turks to establish their monopoly or their power in this region, and they restricted other Western European countries from trading with the Asia or with the East. So the Spain, Portugal, and such countries in the western part of the Europe, they were restricted. So what they thought of finding a new sea route, and hence Spain, they first initially they started sailing from the European soil, and they ended up in discovering America. Okay, after that Portugal sailor Vasco da Gama, he started sailing, and he was successful in discovering this new sea route through Cape of Good Hope. This is the Cape of Good Hope, and through this region, he was succeeded in discovering this route, and finally in 1498 he reached at Kapad in Calicut on the Malabar coast. So this is the trade routes that existed before. So now let us move on to the Portugal settlements in India, and let us try to understand that. Okay, so these are some of the key points that you need to know. Okay, first, so these people, these foreign powers, they came to India because they were very much attracted to the Indian spices and the textile industry, cotton textile industry, then precious stones, jewelry, and the very much uh, established or very popular Indian wealth. So these people were very much attracted towards the wealth and the spices and all those things. Okay, so that is why these Europeans and the people from the west started coming to India and the Southeast Asia. Okay, then let us see. Mughal rule started in 1526 and it ended in the year 1707 on the death of Aurangzeb. Okay, so what you need to understand here is that it was in the year 1498 Vasco da Gama came here. Okay, so he came here much before the Mughal Empire started ruling in India. Okay, so they came here for the first time in 1498, but he returned with lot of cargo in 3 months. So after that, again he came back to India in the year 1502, and it was now the Portuguese they set up their first factory at Calicut, and later they established or they set up their factories in Kannur, then Cochin, and their first port was established in Cochin. So, first Portuguese viceroy was appointed in the year 1505 and he was Francisco de Almeida. And first Portuguese governor general was Alfonso de Albuquerque. In the year 1510, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from Sultan of Bijapur. So in 1526, they took possession of Mangalore and Daman came under their control in the year 1531, but officially this Daman was ceded only in the year. So earlier in 1531 they took possession in Daman, but officially they ceded Daman in the year 1539. So next was Salsette in Bombay. It was in the year 1534. So Diu was captured in the year 1535. And this is just a timeline for you to understand the when and where these people established their settlements. So in 1559, they have settled in Daman as well. So in 1612, English defeated Portuguese in Surat. So later, one by one, their every settlements were taken away by the British. So Dutch East India Company, Dutch means the United East India Company of Netherlands. Okay, this company was formed in the year 1602 and they were given permission by the Dutch government to trade in East Indies and also in India. And they established their first settlement in Mazulipattanam in the year 1605, and Dutch Surat was established in 1616, Dutch Bengal was established in 1627, and Pulikat in 1610. In 1656 they conquered Ceylon from Portuguese. So they took several ports from Portuguese on the Malabar coast in 1671, and on capturing Nagapattinam at Madras, they established their foothold in South India. So there were minting coinages during the period of Dutch East India Company in India. Okay, so they started minting coins in this period. So between 1654 to 1667, there was war between English East India Company and the Dutch East India Company in the Indian soil. And during their stay in India, they when the trade flourished, they established mints. That means the coin mints that I have mentioned earlier. They have flourished and established mints at Cochin, Mazuli, Naga, then Pondicherry and Pulikat. Okay, so in 1654 to 1667, war was there between the English and the Dutch. Okay, so after this war, English won, and there was a give and take agreement that made between Dutch and the English East India Company. So English agreed to give up all their claims in Indonesia, and Dutch agreed to give up English settlements in India. And by 1795, English could expel Dutch from their last position. So in 1814, already in 1795, English could expel Dutch. But in 1814, there was a treaty between Anglo-Dutch, that means the English and the Dutch, to restore the Dutch Coromandel and the Dutch Bengal to the Dutch rule. But those were returned to Britishers in the next Anglo-Dutch treaty in the year 1824. So, and gradually, in the year 1825, they were totally expelled from the country. So, the next foreign power that we are going to discuss here is Danish. And Christian IV, the king of Denmark, that means Norway, he issued a charter in 1616 granting the Danish East India Company a monopoly on trade between Denmark and Asia for 12 years. So, Danish colonies in India included the towns of Tranquebar, then Tranquebar is in Tamil Nadu, Zirampur, it is in West Bengal, and the Nicobar Islands. So, during the Napoleonic Wars between 1803 and 1815, the British invaded Danish shipping and ultimately they captured Danish colonies, making them a part of British India. So, the last Danish colonial post was at Sirampur, and even the Sirampur was ceded to British by Denmark in the year 1845. So, they could not flourish much here in India. So here comes our favorite people, that is the English East India Company or the British people. Okay, so they acquired a royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I in the year 1600. And this royal charter gave them the sole right to trade with the East. Okay, and in 1600, when they came to picture, already Portuguese had their settlements here. Okay, so they had to compete with the Portuguese. And by 1608, before they are settling their first factory at Surat, the Dutch people they also came into the picture in the year 1602, and they had their first settlement at Masulipatanam in 1605 and Surat in 1616. So between 1612 and 14, there was war between Portuguese and the English people, and in this war, the Portugal naval squadron was defeated at Surat. This happened. And one more thing that happened during this period was Bombay was given to King Charles II of England. This was given as a dowry to marry the Portuguese princess. And eventually, the Portugal they lost all of their possession in India except Goa, Daman, and Diu. Goa, Daman, and Diu. Okay, so this is something interesting. They were the first to arrive at the Indian soil, but they were the last to withdraw. Thus, Goa, Daman, and Diu were recaptured only in the year 1961 after the formation of Government of India. Okay, so this Government of India recaptured Goa, Daman, and Diu. So until 1961, Portugal they had their settlements here in India. Okay, that's about the Portugal. Okay, so in 1615, this English East India Company gained imperial firman, and as per this imperial firman, they got permission to establish many factories in all parts of the Mughal Empire. So by that time in 1616, Danish came to picture. This also we have seen before. And in 1620, again there was a war or there was a battle between Portugal and the English. Of course, the English people they won. And by 1623, more factories were established here in India. So as I have said earlier, the conflict between Portugal and English it came to an end by 1630, and the English people they left the Portugal with the mentioned three settlements at Goa, Daman, and Diu. Okay, so they were here, and English people they did not disturb them much during this period, even after the 1630. Okay, so by 1658, what happened? Dutch conquered Ceylon from Portugal. Then by 1662, Bombay was given. This also I have mentioned earlier. And this Bombay was fortified by the English East India Company in the year 1668. And by 1664, the last European power, that is the French East India Company, was founded, and they came to India in the year 1664. So they were the last European people, and their company was formed when King Louis XIV was the king. In 1668, the French East India Company, they had their first factory at Surat, and in 1669 they had another factory at Mazulipattanam, and in 1673 they had their township at Chandranagar. So this was just an overview. So with this note, I'm just concluding, and we will continue in the next video, and where we will discuss several battles like Battle of Plassey, then Battle of Buxar, and the emergence of autonomous states during this period. And also we will discuss Anglo-French wars, that is the Carnatic wars. So thank you, and thanks for watching.